All right, this is Winston Duke at Sundance 2020 for the premiere of 9 Days, and we are here with Create Her Collective.
So this movie is called 9 Days, and it's about a group of candidates who are kind of souls that are interviewing for the opportunity to be born and to live. And Winston Duke plays our interviewer. And what drew me to this film was kind of the director's connection to it. He had his uncle had committed suicide when he was young, and it was sort of his way of it was just a processing of that experience and how others viewed him and how the value of life, whether or not it's worth it. And I really like that it was such a personal thing, and the script was also just was just wonderful. And I just thought it would be a really special story to be a part of, especially discussing kind of mental health and the hope after having a hard time.
I had to be a part of this film. I read the script and my heart exploded into a billion pieces. It's a remarkable script and a remarkable story. I'd never read anything like it.
It's really important to see because it challenges the norms of what we expect mental health looks like, what we expect people who suffer from mental health to be going through and how it manifests, It also adds to the conversation of, black psychology, which is really important right now, and is adding to that trend and hopefully continued movement of movies that is continuing to deal with that. Moonlight, dealing, Us, Get Out, all these movies dealing with black psychology. This one is doing the same thing.
I think it's a lot about, we always see like we have our goals and things that you want to achieve and to have, and I think my movie is so much about maybe you already have those things. Being here is really like the best gift of all, and so why not to, try to give the value it deserves, enjoy it, or make it, work.
For my character, actually, specifically, my entire kind of thing is that I'm very in the moment and I'm sort of always discovering. And so really I for a lot of it also sort of canceled out any exterior kind of things because I'm really just here, and I really tried to receive from Winston and give and not try to focus too much on my other stuff. I think I've thought of the fear of death, is sort of, that's my imminent threat in the film, and fighting for life,
Edson and I, after I taped my audition for him, he and I had a Skype conversation, and it almost felt like we immediately got to work. I didn't even have the gig yet, and it felt like we immediately got to work, and that really made an impression on me because by the end of our Skype conversation, he asked me to tape something for him again, and I was like, okay, sure. And I was like, when do you want to buy? And he was like, take your time. That was it's a tiny example. Edson knows how to hold space for actors, and so that's what happened on set. We had an intense schedule, and even in the intense schedule, I never felt rushed, and Edson was right there if I needed him. He was holding the monitor and would be nearby, as opposed to being in Video Village. He would be right there, and I just always felt like he had my back.
For me, it's just about it's almost like any kind of relationship, and for me it was just seeing them as almost like friends or people who are, even family member. Making a film is almost like a family thing. Everyone has to be so united and with the same goals and be on the same page that if everyone trusts each other and they have a good communication, and it's almost like any kind of relationship. So the thing that I try most is just listen to them and try to tell them stuff that it was coming from my heart and coming from a very honest point of view. So I don't know if they said that, but I think that's what I think that worked for them. But that's kind of the way I like working.
Getting into my character was a lot of research and just also trusting that such a personal story, I had to just trust in the collaboration of Edson Oda. This story was inspired by his uncle who committed suicide. And it being such a personal story to him, I just trusted at all times that he knew and could steer the ship, at all times. So just doing my work, but then letting every set that I entered inform the character, every set and every landscape, getting out here in Utah, out into the salt flats, and letting that inform me of where I was and who I was and what it meant to be there. So, my advice to young actors is just to fill the vessel, you know what I mean? Just fill up. There's no such thing as an actor. I think we're all just artists and specific storytellers. And once you find the stories that you're interested in telling, the rest will come, as long as you also work on the craft, understand, what you are doing and why. The rest is up to you.
I think like when you have amazing actors like them, it's just like you learn so much, and it makes you think, because the script is the script. The script is just words on the page, and but when an actor like that, like them, like they come to a project, they just bring life, to what you wrote, and I feel like I just started feeling like, I have to give them the freedom to do something that's going to be even better than what is in the script, that's going to make it, become alive, rather than I'm sticking to, what I have on the page and having a movie that is not, as alive as it could be.
I was really inspired by how it didn't matter that I'm working with these megastars and I'm the newbie to the game. They welcomed me with open arms immediately. We're working together and became my peers. They were my peers and became my families. So, that's how I operate. You start to work with anybody new. You're there to collaborate, and it's really inspiring to be working with such high caliber talent and be welcomed with open arms.
One of the major jobs that we have right now in our history, we've achieved a lot of freedoms. We've achieved a lot of recognition. We've achieved a lot of placement in different avenues. And I think the work before has been largely outside of us, largely on our landscape and our environment. And now I think we're in a really great place to seize the opportunity of working on the internal. We have access to so much more. We have access to so much more money. We have access to so much more healthcare and awareness of nutrition and holistic nutrition. So just the idea that this conversation is timely because it's now, this is our time to really work on us. And there's no face to it. Mental health issues is not a weakness, and that's something I feel like the Black community internationally has a problem with, is that we feel like if we reach out for help and something's wrong with us, it's because we're weak or we were born with a weakness or a flaw. This is a muscle. We visit so much of the external, we visit so much of the aesthetic, and we forget the internal. So it's time that we actually revisit this, you know what I mean? And I want them to see that Black men can be vulnerable, Black people can be vulnerable, and Black psychology is a thing.
Yeah, first it's funny because I'm still an aspiring filmmaker. I feel like I got a film here, but I have so much that I still need to do. But in terms of if I could give any advice from things that I learned, I think it's more like write stories that you want to tell, write personal stories, write something that really means something to you. And even if no one wants to put money on it, or people want to invest in it, or it's just like make it yourself, make it happen. Don't put your dream in the hands of the other people. My name is Edson Oda, and watch 9 Days.